It's actually pretty cool. Definitely an old fire pit. You see rocks in a circle like that, they weren't placed there by accident. Funny, you be out in the woods, you come across something like this and you sit there and you think, boy, I wonder how old that is. I wonder how many people used it. Hard to say. So I'm going to keep continuing up in front. Not going to bore you guys and me bumbling around in the prickers and bushes, but just want to give you a little update and give you a little idea where we're at. And that's the way we're going. Just up here. Huh. Fox. See if I bring it up to the camera. You can see where the two canines were up front. Those are gone. I don't think they're on the ground anywhere. I'll actually keep this. See where the vertebrae went to the back of the head. Good little find. Wonder if we'll find any more around here. But that's the fun thing about being out in the woods, and well, obviously if you're into this type of stuff, looking for deer antlers and whatever else you can find. Everything's a bonus. Like I tell people, there's nothing better than being out in nature and being free. And it's all for me. Well, I'm going to put this in the backpack and we'll continue on. I'll probably head out that way there in front of me. And see if we can't get any more rubs or anything going on. Any cool finds, any antlers, anything. I don't know if we come across another skull. Or, okay, it's a mushroom. Oops, sorry, out of view. Alright, so what we got here. Now, do not eat mushrooms by any means necessary if you don't know what you're doing. Definitely identify them, everything like that. One wrong move, one wrong bite, and you're pushing up daisies 6 feet down. I happen to know that this is a giant puffball. And if you look at it in here, you can see where animals had already started picking at it. Now I'm not going to pick it and show you the bottom of it and kill it, because I'm not going to eat it. Generally you want to eat these guys when they're small, when they're about, say, about that big. When they get to be bigger, they get bitter. Still edible, but by any means necessary, do not just walk into the forest and say, oh look, I seen a guy that's, you know, it's a giant puffball, and eat it. So that was a cool little find. Well, we're gonna, oh, there's some scat right next to it. I wonder if it was a deer, because I'll tell you that, let's see. It's about a couple days old. So did the deer nibble at that? I don't think so, depending and looking at the size of the bite. Give you a little view of where we are. Still in the pine patch when we found the little campfire. Just bumbling around looking for tricks and looking for treasures. We'll continue on. I'm on a trail of, looks like 2 deer. Hard for you guys to tell, but I can tell. There's a good little find here. And again, don't go eating wild plants you don't know. That there is wintergreen. In the summer, late summer, they'll actually grow a red berry up at the top. Cool little thing. Yeah, I've been following this. What do we got here? Coyote scat. When people say, oh no, that's a dog. No, that's a coyote. If you've been in the woods as long as I've known, see all the hair in there? That's whitetail hair. That's how you know it's a coyote. Not too many people want to look at a pile of shit, but as far as an educational purpose, there's only one way to learn. That's where we're at. Still in the pines. I'll be coming out here pretty soon though. So no deer antlers. A little shocked on that, but we'll just keep on going. I'll tune you in when I find something good. For the people that don't know, the reason why deer shed their antlers after the rut, depending upon where you live, but they always shed their antlers regardless, is the loss of testosterone and the fletching between their skull and their antlers. That's why the deer shed their antlers and then grow them back. See, now here's a good one in here. So you can see that one there. And then, oh, I think we have a deer antler. Yep, there's one in there. Okay, so now you can really see the back end of where they get in there. Let me see if I can't get a close up. And you can actually see where they go to town on these branches. Just to give everyone an idea of what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll push and they'll turn. It's like poison ivy on your arm, so they'll come in and they'll do whatever they can to get them off. Just put that down for a sec. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point. The way you can tell is any point, any spike, whatever you want to call it, it's got to be bigger than an inch to qualify. Not that it's a competition, but it's actually a pretty good size one. And the cool part is when you get into the branches like this, you know, when they do come in to rub, not every time, but usually you always find them at the base, especially in like this viney type stuff. Sometimes, not to be confused, they can actually rub on this tree and then walk over here, maybe 20 feet. And what they'll do is, if they're really irritated, they'll actually put their antler into the ground with their head and turn like that, and it pops off. So sometimes you can actually find a deer antler just right in the middle of a plateau. It doesn't have to be a bush. Alright, so we've moved down a ways since the last place we were at. Say about 4 miles. I know there's been some deer in here in the past. This place I enjoy a little bit more because of the scenery, and I will get some shots of that coming up. Nice rivers and little waterfalls and things like that. So gonna catch my breath here a sec. Coming through that back there was a shit show, but you do what you gotta do. The exercise is good. I would say so far today you're probably looking at maybe like 9 to 11 miles. So definitely a good hike, good exercise, get the blood pumping, get out. Mother Nature, that's the best part. And everything's a bonus, no matter what it is. And of course, unless you break a leg, that's not a bonus. But let's continue on. still hiking back there. My camera guy is way up here. No offense. But there was a female and a male eagle flying around about maybe 5 minutes back. Other than that, no interesting finds so far. Continue on forward. Probably got about maybe 1.5 miles left of this area, and then that'll be it for this spot. So, catch my breath here a minute. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. Appreciate you stopping by again. We're on 13.4 miles right now, so it's been a good day. No broken bones, haven't fallen in the water. My camera guys are getting tired. They do a hell of a job though. So, not easy hiking with me. All right, continue on. All right, now I get to be the camera guy. One of my camera guys is drying off. As soon as they say, you know, we didn't fall, nothing broken, everything like that, of course someone takes a dip. That there looks like a camping chair of all places. I was actually following a trail here, and I got some very fresh deer scat. But the chair definitely caught my eye. I don't know what's going on over here. Little camp or something. Kind of awkward spot, really. I mean, unless you're sunbathing. But chair's definitely been here a while. Peat moss all over it. Everything like that. I don't even see a campfire nearby or nothing. See some more deer scat on the ground right there. I do hear a waterfall over that way. So I'm gonna go investigate that. See if I can't find anything else along the way. Alright, we're going that way. Oh, I spotted this from a ways back. We're actually maybe 150 feet away from where we just found that chair. What kind of struck me out is the very perfectly square rock. And then I come across this. Cooking grate. Kind of looks like an old fire pit. So now it makes sense that there was a chair nearby. Oh, there's a little pond. So, I'm gonna walk over to that waterfall. I'll tune you guys back in as soon as I get over there. It sounds close, but it's really a quarter of a mile away. Just with no leaves on the trees, you can really hear everything. But let's continue on. All right, so we are just about at the waterfall. Found this. I have no idea what it is. Kind of looks like a deer of some sort. Maybe someone in the comments would know what it is. No idea. But there's the waterfall. I'm gonna come back down and see if I can't get a better view of it. I gotta climb down this hill here, so I'll tune you guys in when I get to the bottom, because my camera guy, he said he ain't going down there. Well, we've made it down to the bottom. There's the waterfall. A little better view. I'll get a picture of the walk-along bridge up top. I was gonna walk over it and get a picture of it down, but it's pretty rotted. Well, I was just continuing along, and I come across a couple of things here. Not sure, looks pots and lids. Looks like a tarp over there, blue line. Could have been a less unfortunate camp. living out. And I see something, it's actually hard to tell, I'll zoom in. A green structure over there. It's out of the ordinary. So I'm actually just gonna take a stroll and walk through here. We'll go around and see what that's all about, and I'll tune you guys right back in. So that's the structure. It's definitely a tent. I could see it coming around. Less unfortunate, probably living out here. Now, by any means necessary, I do not recommend approaching the structure, especially like this, out in the middle of the woods. Do not recommend. However, I can handle myself to a point, just like anybody, but if it is someone that I can help or so, I will. Is anybody home, bud? Hello? Miss Toaster. Don't mean to bother you. I was just strolling by and seeing your camp, bud. You alright in there? Is anybody home? Hello? Can you hear me? Don't mean you no harm. Not gonna bother you. Like I said, I was just walking by. Do you need anything? Now, obviously, I want to check to make sure if someone is in there, they're okay. But if they're not, well, then that just changes everything. And you went from a hike to whatever you want to call it. If you're in there, bud, can you acknowledge? Because I'm going to open the door just to make sure everything's okay. Like I said, I don't mean you no harm. If you want me to just go away, just say go away. Can you hear me? I'm going to open the door now. If you want me to go away, just say go away. Thank God there's no one in there. Definitely living quarters. Could be out and about. Now obviously I'm in somebody's house, that's how I look at it. But to give you guys a view, it is a little disrespectful, if I must say. Let me take the camera off. I accidentally turned the camera off. So this is the inside quarters. See how they're living? They got a sleeping bag. So I'm going to zip this up the way I found it and be on my way. I'm just glad I didn't find a body in here. Well, that's going to do it today for today's video. Appreciate you guys tuning in, stopping by, showing love, checking out the channel as always. I was going to go on for a bit more. Ironically, about 15-20 minutes after leaving the shelter over there, I come across a guy who was walking around in the woods, and I asked him if he knew about the shelter, and he said that that's where he stayed. Real nice guy. Didn't really want to be on camera or nothing like that, so I respect his wishes. However, I'm actually going to, he was a Vietnam vet, so from one brother to another, I'm going to bring him down into town and get a little bit of food and fresh water, maybe a little bit of clothing, see if I can't help him out a bit. Real nice guy. Just goes to show that when you come across an individual in the woods, they're They're not necessarily a hermit or a caveman or a Neanderthal or a thief or whatever it may be. And again, I don't really know him, but I can tell you that he's a nice guy, genuine soul, all about nature. Just had a little life that was a little unfortunate. So it stops to make you actually appreciate what you actually have. People think, you know, their life sucks and everything and it can't get no worse. Well, there's always someone that's worse off than you are. So, but I'm going to end it here. So go out and help that gentleman and continue on. So again, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and until next time, see you in the next one.